Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Star Tarot by Kathy McLeland. There's Kathy's website if you would like it and how you spell Kathy's name. Alright, supportive oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Raish Baskin. Website's in the back here. ToriHartman.com, WatkinsPublishing.co.uk, or WatkinsPublishing.com. I think you should be able to see both of them if you freeze frame. If you want that information, of course. Of course. Alright, what do we got going on for Taurus? You got cards popping out all over the place. What is up? Ooh. First card out is your card, the Hierophant. So I think, well, you also got Judgment going in your favor long term. What is happening? Ironically, I don't think anything is bad. But I feel like this is your first time, maybe not the first time, but this is your current time around. This might have happened before. You have a chance to end something. The Prince of Wands popped out as I was shuffling, and it's coming in beneath the Queen of Pentacles. Now, these two energies, as people, they're not really that compatible. Queen of Pentacles is very stable. We think it out. We do what we're supposed to. We stick to the plan. There's a structure. There's a respect for how things are done and doing things as they've been done. The Knight of Wands is kind of like here and gone. Whatever is good for the moment. You know, they chase after what's in front of them in the moment. You know, what's a priority today may not be a priority tomorrow. What I was doing yesterday may have nothing to do with today. Stuff like that sometimes. The Knight of Wands can also be very headstrong. They both of these cards can be very headstrong, but in different ways. The energy is like you're looking at this like this is your chance to kind of move on from something. I feel like you have a chance to start disconnecting. And when I'm seeing this Knight of Wands here, somebody is making a quick decision and they're changing something a little bit. And they're doing what they want to do with it's the King, if I can show the King of Wands there, and the Perseverance. King of Wands, Perseverance, you got the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. Somebody else is moving forward. They're making some quick decision. This is what they believe they got to do. This is how they want to do it. And I feel you kind of like, well, all right, I can go along with that decision, but the main situation is going to stay the same. I'm not going to change all that much. I'll accommodate that to a point, but the base situation will not change. It's kind of like, you know, if somebody wants to do Chinese food for dinner, that's fine, but it's still going to be at 6 o'clock. You know, the people who clean up after are going to still be the same people who clean up after, whoever's turn it is to clean up after. The schedule will still be the same. That little moment may be different. Like instead of having a home-cooked meal and all the good stuff to it, we're going to just do some random Chinese food that's fine. Like it wasn't expected. It just kind of like, well, things went different. Let's do this. But we're still going to eat at 6. We're still going to have this. It's still the same person's turn to clean up afterwards. Everything else for the night will still go the same. But this is kind of like your chance to start stepping away from this whole process. It's kind of like, you know, instead of being a part of this and keeping this structure together, maybe it's time to set out on your own. Because like if we're going to go a little deeper with this dinner analogy, maybe this isn't like a family dinner. Maybe this is like, you know, a group that you get together with once a month. And once a month you guys get together for a home-cooked meal. It's at 6 o'clock on this certain night. and whoever, certain people have to set up, certain people take care of the dinner, certain people clean up, and it's like whoever's turn, whatever group's turn it is to do that, does the appropriate thing. And you're like, well, this didn't, like, that's not really a home cooked dinner. That's not how that was supposed to work out. The people responsible for cooking that kind of dropped the ball, but they made up for it by getting some takeout, which isn't really the best. Like, one of the reasons we get together is to look forward to that home cooked meal. So it's not bad. Like, the food was good, but like when you get takeout versus like a home cooked meal, personally, I think home cooked meal is much better, noticeably better. So it's kind of like, all right, I don't really like it that they did that, but it wasn't a bad outcome. I mean, everybody ate. It's still, we got together, we did what we had to do, so it was fine. Just was not ideal. But this might be the chance where it's kind of like, this isn't the first time things like this have happened. And you're kind of like, I don't know if I really like this situation anymore. I don't know if I want to keep going with it, because we seem to have more snafus than success. Like, it doesn't work out as it's supposed to. It doesn't seem to be as good as it should be. People who are responsible for things, they just seem to change. Like, for example, if they were supposed to set up, they get there too late, and maybe instead of setting up things correctly, they just like quickly do it as people are showing up, which is not right either. It still kind of gets taken care of, but not correctly. Some people, like, they're supposed to clean up at the end, but half the people cut out, and it's like it takes the people who do stick around to do their responsibility, it takes them longer than it should, and other people help out who really already took care of the responsibility with the setup or the dinner, so there's other people cleaning up that really shouldn't have to do that. So it's kind of like, this is kind of becoming more of a mess than the way it should be, and you're like, I don't really like how this is playing out. People are not honoring their responsibilities like they should be. And it's kind of like, I can't police all these people, and I don't really think I want to, but maybe it's time for me to, like, say, this situation has seen its best days. Maybe I want to go do something else. Because I feel like it's time where you could actually step out of it and still keep everybody happy. Like, you can keep connections happy, you can be happy with everybody, kind of like no hard feelings, but I'm going to go do some things, I'm going to do other things. Like, it's just, I feel like I've ran my course with this, there's other things I want to do, I'm going to kind of step away from this and like let people do what they want to do. So it's kind of like, if this situation just flat out fails at some point, I'm not a part of it anymore. So that's on the people who are taking care of it. It's on other people who want that to continue. It's on them to make it work. Yeah, because I'm getting this too. I'm getting a lot of, like, you could end your connection to this. You have the Six of Swords, the grief, and the completion. There is that sense of responsibility with you. But it's kind of like the grief is like, I kind of feel bad walking away. Or you could be like, I'm still aggravated with sticking with the situation. So it's like, either way you seem to have grief. It's kind of like, the grief kind of dissipates and goes away if you disconnect from this. It's kind of like, well, I kind of feel bad for walking away from it. It's kind of something I did like at one point. It's not working the way it should now. But if I walk away from it, that energy will dissipate. You'll move on from it. But if you stick with it, I don't feel like that grief goes away. But I do feel like a little bit of guilt, like shutting it down or ending it. Creating that type of change does seem to bother me. But I also get by rejecting the situation. Like, I'm literally getting the rejection card. Like, rejecting the situation is judgment in your favor. I just don't feel like the situation works like it used to. I feel like it's time to go on to something else. For some of you, this is a flat-out job. I know it's an analogy I'm using the dinner, but it could be where something it used to be really good and it's just not anymore. And it's time to maybe move on to something else. And it's hard for you to make that decision. You don't really like giving up in that sense, but it's kind of like, you know what? It's not really giving up. It's choosing something better and giving you something better that you actually deserve. And letting people who don't want to uphold their responsibilities be responsible for their own situation. This is completely in your control with your card. The Hierophant's popping in here. This is your card, first card out. This is working out in the sense of, like, you get to choose. Do you want to stick with this situation and be unhappy with it? Because it does feel like you're unhappy. If this is connecting, I know it's a general read. If this is connecting, it feels like you're unhappy with it. So it's up to you. If you decide, you know what, I'm not really the happiest with it, but I don't want to let it go, I'll just accept it for what it is and stick with it. That is totally your business. You decide what you need to do. But if you decide you want better, now is the time to start looking other places, to start disconnecting from things, to start lessening your responsibilities and start passing them off to other people, kind of like, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else, but I'm going to respectfully hand this over to that one, hand this over to that one, because I'm not going to be here to do it anymore. There will be a lot of healing for you if you do that, if you walk away. And I feel like you don't have to worry about pretending people do better than they actually do. The facade there. I also feel like you'll end this on a good note, but you won't be happy. I don't feel like you're going to highlight a problem after you're like, well, I'm letting go of this responsibility, so people know what they're doing. I'm just going to like let it seem like it's fine. I feel like you're going to end this on good terms, like, oh no, I just decided I'm going to do something different. You're not going to say, I feel like with the facade here, you're not going to say like, well, because this became a train wreck situation, I don't want anything to do with it anymore, that's why I'm leaving. I don't feel like you're going to say that. I don't know. I feel like you're just kind of like, people know what they're doing. I don't see the point in me highlighting it because we're just going to have a big problem with it. I'm just going to end this on good terms. The people putting up with it, it's on them. They know what's going on there. They know what they're doing. And other people who are allowing it, it's on them. It's their problem. It's their deal. I'm stepping away from the responsibility. I'm not looking to add more to it. The face down card. Yeah, something better is waiting for you. Because I feel like it takes you a minute to really sort it out and decide how you're going to do it with the Hermit card. But then I'm getting like the Empress with the Death card telling me like this is something that needs to happen. This is better for you. You've served your purpose here. Part of the challenge for Taurus, it seems to me, and you can tell me in the comments if you think I'm wrong, is to like realize when you're not being as honored or as respected, or you're just not as useful as you used to be. I'm trying not to say it that way because I feel like it's rude. But it's kind of like the situation is not respecting you. Because the situation is not respecting you, you're not as useful. And it's kind of like, well, if that's how the situation is, it's time for me to find something else that is more respectful to me, or you, the Taurus, and go help and go put my energy towards something that does honor my commitment and my participation. Because the situation does not feel like it honors you. It does not seem to be concerned or want to be concerned. It's time to let it end. Is that the Knight of Wands? It is the Knight. I think I was referring to it as the King. Because I see the Kings coming out later. You connecting to something better. It's time to go. There's something better for you out there. But the thing is, the trick with this is you got to choose it. You can choose to stay in this situation and keep dealing with this, or you can choose to get better. It's hard because Taurus is an investment energy. You're Earth. You're kind of like, I put my effort into something to get something out of it. Like you're investing your time to get something out of it later. You put energy into something to get it out later. You don't just, give up and walk away. But they're saying with this situation, you've seen enough to know the situation is not honoring you. You've also seen enough to know it's not going to get better without a lot of work, and that work can't be done just by you. If this situation were to get better, you would be a piece of that, but you would have to work in a group of people, and everybody would have to put in the same amount of respect that you would to make it go better. So think of that here too. Like, do you believe that other people will side with you and help you make this better? Because I feel like if you want to, you can try to make the situation better. Otherwise, it's kind of like putting $1 in, getting 50 cents out. Putting $1 in, getting 50 cents out. After you've put in $10, $20, like say you put in $20 and now you have $10. Like, why? That's not Taurus. That's not Earth. You don't do that. You're throwing away your time. Take it with a grain of salt. You decide if this fits your situation. It's a general read, so if this fits your situation, I feel like that'll make sense. If you're throwing away your time, and the longer you're here, the more time you're throwing away, I don't feel like that's going to sit well if that really does hit. And I feel like that might move you forward, kind of like, oh, you know what? I need to go forward to something that honors me more. I need to go towards something that I really feel happy with and feel respected. I feel like the time I put in comes back. I feel like the energy I put in comes back. When I put my effort in, and for example, that same dinner analogy, when it's your turn to make sure that home-cooked meal happens, you make sure that home-cooked meal happens. You put everything together, Everything is there. It's on time. It's the way it's supposed to be. It's home cooked. Everything is great. When you make sure, when it's your turn to do setup, you make sure everybody's there. Everybody does their part that's in that situation. Everything is set up on time. As soon as things are supposed to be there, it's there. So that way when the next part comes in with the home cooked meal, they don't have to worry about everything. Everything's already ready. Same thing with the cleanup. Okay, we're all done. Everybody on my team needs to stay. We all need to, you make sure people know that. Like we all, and if somebody has to go, then it's on our team to make up for the difference. We will make sure that gets taken care of. We honor our commitment. And you're very honorable like that. And it's kind of like you need a situation that matches your respect level. And that's what you have out there if you want it. I feel like for a lot of you, it's basically either stick with the situation and be unhappy or find something better that really has your commitment level, has your respect level in mind, and will match your energy, match your commitment. Because it feels like the current one does not. So it's totally in your wheelhouse. You get to decide, stick with what you got if you're okay with that, or find something better. If you try to find something better, there is definitely something much better out there for you. All right, we good? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. It's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below with the same email. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.